14th 92nd year. The last night. The flame of candles trembles on the stone walls. Families gather bundles. Children cry. Elders whisper prayers in a language that will soon be forbidden. The decree of exile. Spain shuts its doors. Forever. Ships wait in the ports. Sephardim leave into the night. Their trace dissolves in the ages. But the blood remembers. In the year 2000, scientists studied the Y chromosome of 1,371 men from 29 populations. The result was published in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences of the USA. Med haplotype, 36% in all Jewish groups, a marker of the ancient East, a code written in every cell. Sephardim carry it through centuries of exile and wars. But where did this code come from? Who were these people before their names were erased from the maps? What if the exile was not an end, but the beginning of the greatest genetic mystery? Long before the exile, their roots go deep into the ages. Levant, Eastern Mediterranean, lands between the sea and desert. From here begins their trace. J1, J2, haplotype groups of the Fertile Crescent. Fertile Crescent paternal lines. Levantine Anatolian origin. The study of the Y chromosome revealed these patterns dominate among the Sephardim. Male lines carry the memory of their Near Eastern ancestors. The genetic distances between Jewish groups are minimal. Ashkenazim, Sephardim, Yemeni Jews, Kurdish Jews, all carry one pattern, 13 Y chromosome haplotypes, common to all, a common Near Eastern founding population. Caravans crossed the deserts, traders sailed the seas, but their Y chromosome remained unchanged. Imagine, paternal lines preserve the traces of ancient Levantine civilizations. Where exactly did J1 and J2 come from? And why have they not dissolved over millennia of diaspora? The second line, E1B1B, YIP plus 4S in the terminology of researchers. A haplogroup connecting the Levant with Africa, widely spread in the Eastern Mediterranean and North Africa. EM35, a subclade carried by Palestinians, Syrians, Lebanese, and Jews. This line is very common in Jewish and Near Eastern populations. The highest frequencies are found in North Africa. Among North African Jews, the frequencies of MED and YAP plus 4S are very high. A double imprint. Near Eastern heritage and contacts with the North African population. One of two dominant paternal lines among the Sephardim. The shores of the Mediterranean. Deserts. Caravan routes. The bearers of E1B1B traveled these paths through the ages. But what if the truth is the opposite? What if Africa is not an admixture but one of the ancient roots? Why does this line so strongly connect Sephardim with the most ancient peoples of the Levant and North Africa? Thousands of kilometers separate them. Generations in different lands, different languages, different customs. But genetics tells another story. Multi-dimensional analysis of the Y chromosome revealed the mystery. A set of 13 Y haplotypes connects all Jewish groups of the diaspora. All non-sub-Saharan Jewish populations form a compact cluster. They are genetically closer to each other than to any geographic neighbors. A paradox. Centuries of wandering. But the Y chromosome preserves unity. This cluster overlaps with Palestinians and Syrians. It is adjacent to Lebanese and Druze. A single Near Eastern pool. The admixture of European Y component among Sephardim is 13 to 23%. A low level. Very low. Can you accept that the diaspora is not a division but a preservation? That exile did not erase their genetic memory? But if male lines are so unified, what happened to the women? Mitochondrial DNA, the maternal line. Here the story changes. A study of crypto-Sephardic descendants in Portugal, Belmonte, Bragança, communities that hid their faith for generations. Their maternal lines tell the truth. HV0B, N1, T2B11, T2E, U2E, 5 founder haplogroups of the Sephardim. But where did they come from? A significant proportion consists of common European and North African lines. Local women, accepted into the community at different times. The contrast screams. Men carry the East. The Y chromosome keeps the Levant. Women bring the West. Mitochondria remember Europe. Specific sub-branches indicate Mediterranean origins. Then differentiation in Iberia, mixing, adaptation, survival. What if we opened our eyes? The community accepted foreign women, but the male lines remained closed. Why do maternal lines tell a completely different story? A discovery that changed everything. The study by Bedford and colleagues analyzes mitochondrial DNA, T2E1, a branch within which the secret hides. T2E1b, a sub-branch supported by 11 complete mitogenomes. A specific Jewish line, associated primarily with Sephardic and Ashkenazi individuals.
Thank you so much for your help.
Jewish mother-line clans in Europe. 2 distinctly Sephardic branches. A marker, a code, a signature. These lines are found among crypto-Jews of Iberia, descendants of those who hid their faith, who forgot the prayers but preserved the DNA. The spiral does not lie. Chromosomes do not forget. T2E1b is the seal of Sepharad, an insertion in a scientific journal, pulsating data on the screen of the laboratory. No one expected this in the region. A maternal line that passed through the Inquisition and oblivion, through centuries of silence. But how did these female lines enter the community? And how many more secrets does their mitochondrial DNA hide? Long before Spain, long before the exiles, the Levant, the cradle, Eastern Mediterranean, lands where the first civilizations were born. Autosomal analysis reveals an ancient secret. Sephardim form a cluster between Near Eastern and Southern European populations. But the center of gravity is in the East, a significant Near Eastern component, common with Levantine Muslims and Christians, common with other peoples of the Eastern Mediterranean, an ancient Semitic foundation, a Levantine substrate. Legends spoke of an exodus from the Holy Lands. Myths whispered of temples and prophets. Archaeology was silent, but genetics spoke. Myths turned out to be memories of DNA. Every cell keeps the coordinates. Every chromosome is a map. The path from the Levant to Iberia is recorded in the genome. Generations succeeded each other, but the root did not fade. If the root is in the Levant, then why are Sephardim different from other Jews? What did Spain change? Spain, the Iberian Peninsula, a new chapter, long residence on these lands, contacts with the local population, mixing. European lines enter the community. R1b, GT haplogroups of Europe, Anatolia, the Caucasus, in smaller proportions, but they exist. Y chromosome analysis shows. Iberian admixture in the male line is moderate. It does not erase the Near Eastern signal. The European component is present, but the level is low. Paternal lines still point to the Levant. Marriages with locals. Women from Iberia join the community. Maternal lines change, but the male line holds stronger. Cultural adaptation. Genetic preservation. A paradox. Imagine if you were told that Spain changed them forever. Changed but did not replace. How much Iberian blood flows in their veins? And why is this admixture so small in men but noticeable in women? Maternal flow. HV, UK common European mitochondrial haplogroups. They dominate among Sephardim. The study shows a significant portion of maternal lines are European and North African, not Near Eastern. The process went on for centuries. Iberian women became part of the community. Conversions, marriages, acceptance through the maternal line. Mitochondrial diversity grows. Inclusion is active, continuously. Every generation adds new branches. The statistics do not lie. Maternal haplogroups point to Europe more than to the Levant. This is not admixture. This is the foundation of maternal heritage. Strategy or coincidence? Choice or necessity? What if everything you have been taught is outdated? Why have paternal lines remained almost unchanged while maternal lines transformed completely? The decree is signed. The exile begins. Mass conversions. Some accept baptism under the threat of death. Some choose escape. The paths diverge. Mediterranean, Balkans, Ottoman Empire, North Africa. Thousands of families leave Iberia. The roads lead to different lands. The genetic diaspora begins anew. Mixed marriages multiply, especially on the maternal line. Women of new lands enter the communities of refugees. Maternal lines change even faster. Paternal lines hold on. Erased, broken, cut out. Spain tried to destroy them. But the Y chromosome did not forget the Levant. Mitochondria absorbed Europe and Africa. DNA preserved memory of everything. But what if the truth is the opposite? What if the exile did not destroy their genetic unity, but simply scattered it across new lands? But how did they survive after losing their homeland? Belmonte, Portugal, an isolated community of crypto-Jews. Generations in the shadow of the Inquisition. Hidden faith. Closed marriages. Genetic analysis reveals something strange. Mitochondrial diversity is low, very low. A limited number of lines dominate. What happened? Strong genetic drift, narrow bottleneck, founder effect. A few women gave rise to the entire community. Their mitochondria multiplied. Other lines disappeared. Coincidence, isolation, survival at any cost. In Braganza, the picture is different. High diversity, many lines. But Belmonte is an extreme case. A genetic time capsule. A conserved isolation. Isolation saved them from persecution but left a mark in every cell. The price of survival is recorded in DNA. A mystery revealed only now. What happened to these people in isolation? How did a few maternal lines become everything? The Ottoman Empire opens doors. Sephardim find a new home. Communities form in different corners of the empire. North African Jews receive a significant Sephardic component. Genetic diffusion, marriages between communities, exchange of lines. But the Near Eastern genetic signal persists. The Y chromosome still points to the Levant. J1, J2, E1B1B. They did not disappear. Maternal lines continue to change. New lands, new women. But paternal memory holds strong. Empires tried to erase their name, but they survived. Adaptation without assimilation. Integration without dissolution. The paradox of the diaspora repeats on new territory. How did they manage to preserve genetic identity in foreign lands? What protected the Y chromosome from mixing where maternal lines easily changed? U2E, the maternal line, an echo of Sepharad in the mitochondria, one of 5 key founding haplogroups. The study by Nogueiro shows a specific sub-branch of U2E in crypto-Sephardic descendants. Not a common European one. Special. Its phylogenetic position indicates Mediterranean origin, possibly Near Eastern, then differentiation in Iberia. Adaptation. Change. This line is found among the descendants of those who hid their faith. The genetic tree shows branching. Nodes glow on the screen. Each branch is a generation. Each mutation is a trace of time. U2E survived through centuries of persecution, through exile, through oblivion, and it has persisted. A marker of Sephardic identity in mitochondrial DNA. A secret written in maternal cells. Genetics tells what chronicles forgot. How many more maternal lines hold the memory of Sepharad? Maghreb. North Africa. Shores opposite Iberia. The exiles come here. Communities form in the cities of the region. Mixing with the local population begins immediately. North African Jews receive a powerful Sephardic injection. A genetic wave covers the region. Analysis shows the concentration of certain lines. Med haplotype and YAP plus 4S reach maximum values, higher than in other Jewish populations. J1, J2, E1B1B flourish here. The Levantine core meets the African component. A fusion. Maternal lines absorb local genes. New women enter the communities. But the paternal foundation retains the Near Eastern trace. The borders are foreign, but the soul of the people is unbroken. Adaptation happens quickly. Languages change. Customs intertwine. But the Y chromosome remembers Iberia and the Levant. Why did these lands become their main refuge? What allowed Sephardim to take root here? Portugal, Spain, centuries after the exile. The Inquisition hunts for Judaizers. Crypto-Jews hide. Generations live a double life. By day, Christians. By night, candles in cellars. Secret prayers whispered. Memory is passed down through women. Maternal lines hold the code. The study shows Crypto-Sephardim of the Iberian Peninsula preserved a narrow set of mitochondrial lines. Recognizable, specific. The genetic signature of Sepharad lives in the modern population of Portugal and Spain. The same 5 founding maternal lines. They have passed through centuries of hidden faith, through the fires of the Inquisition, and remained. This truth has been silenced for centuries. But DNA does not lie. Mitochondria remember what surnames forgot. How many modern Spaniards and Portuguese carry Jewish blood without knowing it? Modern genetics. The numbers do not lie. Y chromosome analysis of Sephardim shows a clear pattern. Paternal lines. J1 and J2 dominate. Levantine haplogroups form the basis. E1b1b adds a North African Levantine component. Together they form a Near Eastern core. European lines are present, R1b, GT, but their share is small. The admixture remains at 13 to 23% of the total pool. The rest is from the East. The maternal picture is more complex. Specific Sephardic subbranches, HV0b, N1, T2b11, T2e1b, U2e, markers of the founders, plus a wide range of European lines, H, HV, U, K, the result of centuries of adaptation, infographics on the screen, maps of haplogroup distributions, percentages, frequencies. The whole story is recorded in the numbers. 99% of people do not know this genetic secret. But what do these numbers mean for modern Sephardim? Genetic clusters. Multidimensional analysis reveals the unexpected. Jewish populations form a compact group, Sephardim at its center. But this cluster is not isolated. The boundary is blurred. Sephardim are genetically indistinguishable from other peoples of the Eastern Mediterranean. Palestinians fall into the same group. So do Syrians, Lebanese, Druze. A common Levantine substrate connects them all. Genetic maps show closeness, closer than anyone expected. Political borders divide. History creates conflicts. But the Y chromosome remembers common ancestors. Thousands of years ago, these peoples were part of one genetic pool. Then separation, religions, cultures, languages. But DNA preserved the trace of unity. Scientists are shocked. A connection they did not expect. Sephardim are genetically closer to the peoples of the Levant than to the Europeans among whom they lived for centuries. Can DNA become a bridge where politics builds walls? The 20th century. Trials of a new era. Wars engulf Europe and the Middle East. Migrations. Assimilation. Modernity blurs the boundaries between peoples. Sephardic communities are scattered around the world. Mixed marriages multiply faster than ever. Pressure of urbanization, secularization. Old traditions weaken. Languages are forgotten. Customs disappear. But the genetic profile holds. The Y chromosome still carries Levantine markers. J1, J2, E1b1b. They have not faded. Maternal lines continue to change. Adaptation does not stop. But distinctive Sephardic subbranches remain. States erased them. Communities were destroyed. But they did not destroy genetic memory. The modern world could not fully dissolve the ancient code. DNA turned out to be stronger than time. What have Sephardim preserved in their chromosomes after all the trials of the ages? Isolation, choice, or necessity? Crypto-Jewish communities close themselves off from the world. Marriages within the group. Genetic consequences are inevitable. A narrow set of maternal lines is preserved for generations. Specific sub-branches form. They are unique. They exist nowhere else. Phylogenetic analysis shows differentiation occurred in Iberia. Isolation created new branches within old haplogroups. T2E transformed into T2E1b. U2E acquired unique mutations. Adaptation to hidden existence. Genetic signature of isolation. These variants are now markers. They identify descendants. The price of survival is in every cell. Isolation preserved identity, but left a mark forever. Modern science reads this trace. These mutations are memories of centuries in the shadows. A curse or a gift? From the Levant to the edges of the Mediterranean. A journey spanning millennia. Sephardim. An intermediate position between Near Eastern and Southern European populations. But the center is still in the East. A clear signal of common ancestry with other Jewish diasporas. A model of a single Near Eastern source with regional admixtures. This is not a theory. This is a fact written in DNA. J1, J2, E1B1B. Paternal lines remember the Levant, HV0B, T2E1B, U2E. Maternal lines hold Iberia and the Mediterranean. They have survived exiles, the Inquisition, wars, dispersal across the Balkans, the Ottoman Empire, North Africa. Their blood is not just DNA. It is the memory of history itself. A memory recorded in every cell. Codes that are thousands of years old. Codes that will not disappear. Sephardim are living testimony that genetic memory is stronger than empires. Subscribe to learn what ancient codes flow in your veins.